Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about the characters of the novel The Gambler. And first, I'm going to start with the main characters. The main character of this novel is Alexei Ivanovich. In fact, he is the narrator, so he is the one that is counting everything that happens in this story. He is Russian and he is a very smart person. He actually is a player of the novel. Well, there are many players, but he is the main player. He loves playing and he is not a greedy person, but he says that he wants the money to have a better life. And he works for the general and he is in love with Polina, but sometimes he is confused because Polina is really rude with him. And Polina is a girl really gorgeous. Actually, in this story, they tell us that she is a very pretty woman and that she is really tall and really skinny. And we can see that Polina is a woman with strong feelings. I mean, that she has lots of pride and she feels superior to the others. Um, Firstly, with Alexei Ivanovich, she thinks that she can do everything and that everybody is going to do everything that she says just because almost every man is in love with her. But I think that Paulina doesn't care about the other person. I mean, that she just wants to get the fortune of her grandmother. And
One of the main characters in the book is the general, and the general is very important in the story because in the beginning he was the one that was in charge of everything when they were in the hotel, and he was a very strict man. He was very responsible and quite serious because he had to take care of everything. And the general is Polina's stepdad. He's not her real dad. And he is the son of the Babulenka, the grandmother. And so that's why he has some importance. And also, the general was gonna marry Male Blanche, so they were soon gonna be husband and wife. And at first, the general had a decent relationship with the gambler. They were nice to each other, and because the general had control of everything, the gambler had to respect him. And later on, the general started having some issues with some people. One of them was with his own mother because he actually was expecting her to die because he wanted to get her fortune.
another main character is Mr. Astley. He is an Englishman, and in this story we can see that he is really rich. Actually, he is richer than the Frenchman, and but he is a person really shy. It is really difficult for him to approach someone, and he is in love with Paulina too. So he is like in conflict with Alexei, but then they become friends. And Mr. Astley is aware of all the situation that is happening in this novel, so he knows lots of information.
Antonia Vasilievna is better known as the grandmother or the Babulenka, which also means grandmother, and she appears in the book in the middle of the story. And right in the first scene that she appears, the gambler describes her as a woman that's a little bit overweight with gray hair, and that she would always sit very straight in her chair because she would get carried around by her slaves anywhere she would want to go. And also one detail that Alexis noticed about her was that her teeth were still in very good conditions even at the age of 75. And another characteristic of the Babulenka is that she seemed like a very powerful woman. She put herself before everyone else, and she would let everyone know that she was very important and she had power. And at the right about the end of the story, we see that the grandmother has a problem because she starts becoming addicted to gambling and she starts losing all her money.
And another character that appears in this novel is Mel Blanche's mother. She is the mother of Mademoiselle Blanche, but she is not really important in this story. Actually, her daughter, Mel Blanche, is more important than that here. So, in this novel, she is named Mademoiselle la Comtesse de Comminges because it is like French, and she is not really relevant. And I think that it is unlikely that she is aware of the things that the the General Polina de Bubulenka and they are doing. So she doesn't know a lot about them.
Another important character in the story is Mel Blanche. As I mentioned before, she was a woman that was supposed to marry the general, but at the end she rejected him. And she has a lot of background because she can be considered an imposter. Before everyone came to Rutelenberg, she used to live there, and she used to be with an Italian man, and so her name used to be Mel Barberini, and she used to be with that Italian man because he used to be very rich and he would give her anything she wanted and all the luxuries. But later, this Italian man abandons her and leaves her with all the debts in the hotel. So she wants to start like a new life again. So she changes her name to Mel Selma. So she's not Mel Barberini anymore. And after that, when she meets the general and she realizes that the general has a lot of money, she changes her name to Mel Blanche. And she can be considered a gold digger because she's only with men that give her all the luxuries, and also an imposter.
And there are two second characters. For example, Theodosia. Theodosia is the nurse of the grandmother, so she is there to help the grandmother with her health. There is Fedosja too, and she is the nanny of the general kids. And there is too Marfa. Marfa is the maid, and Potapits, he is the butler. So they are there to support the grandmother to help her with everything she needs. And
The Greers is a secondary character because he's not as important like Alexis or Polina or the Babulenka. And he is a Frenchman, that's why his name is the Greers. And at first, when he appeared in the story, it was believed that he was in love with Paulina because of the way he treated her, and he would always look for her and he would always try to treat her nice, just like the Englishman. And everyone thought that Paulina was in love with the Greers, and everyone thought that the Greers also loved her, but at the end, that didn't happen. And also, in one part of the story, the Greers is the man who interviews Paulina, but he doesn't treat her as nice anymore. And Paulina gets really mad, so she smacks him, and he doesn't end up being a good character.
and another character that is present in this novel is Prince Nilsky, and he is also a Russian, and he is aware too of everything that the General, Polina, and the Bubulenka are doing. These are some of the characters of this novel.
Another secondary couple of characters are the Baron and Baroness. They are a couple, they are married to each other, and they are a very high class and fancy couple. They are rich and they are of a good class, and the Baroness, which is the woman, she would always be dressed in very luxurious dresses and very nicely, and they were of such importance that one time when Alexis, the gambler, got in trouble with them, the general was so worried about it because no one had to get in trouble with the Baron and Baroness, so the general had to ask the gambler to leave because everyone was supposed to respect the Baron and the Baroness. They were of a very high class, and also they were so special and everything had to go their way. So one time the Baroness also asked Mille Blanche to leave the casino and not come back. So everyone had to respect them and be very nice to them because they were of high class and importance.